So it's that time of the year, guys, the holiday season. You got Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever other holidays you guys are celebrating. And this is a time where, of course, we're eating a lot of food, a lot of cookies, sweets, cakes, you name it. And of course, a lot of people are spending a lot of money, more than they can actually afford. And guys, we're going to break that down in this video, as a lot of people are spending money they can't afford and they're actually still paying off last year's holiday season. Isn't that crazy? Let's get into it.
Let's talk about why our kids have a $20,000 spending limit for Christmas. For anyone new here, I'm Christy, this is my husband Seth, and we have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old.
20 grand per child? It's a 1-year-old. What are they gonna even do with that stuff?
That was the crazy part to me. The 20K is a lot. They said that they split it between both kids, 10K each.
Oh, I thought it was per kid.
Still obscenely crazy.
For a 4-year-old? Can I finish the video?
So our reason for lowering the limit this year is we bought a lot of different stuff for them throughout the year that wasn't part of their Christmas. Our daughter got multiple designer bags, her own Tesla already.
Oh, this has to be a fucking...
Yeah, okay. Now
This has to be a joke. Her own
this
Tesla.
has to be a joke, because I'm sitting here like, what?
But she goes on and she was like pretty serious. She was like, I know people are like saying that we should put it in and we should like invest in it, but like we've already maxed out their 401ks, we've already maxed out their retirement. Like,
How old are these people and what do they do for a living?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Dang.
Okay, first of all, that it has to be a joke. I mean, is that even real? Like, how are they maxing out a 401k for a 4-year-old? Am I losing my mind? Am I missing something here? But it seems like they're saying they're maxing out a 401k for a 4-year-old. Do they know how a 401k works? We're not going to get into that in this video, but $10,000 per kid is ridiculous. Let's just go with this being real. So you have a 1-year-old, a 4-year-old, $10,000 each. I mean, what the heck are you buying a 1-year-old for $10,000? A 4-year-old for $10,000? I mean, this is insane. Are you guys spending this much for your kids? I highly doubt it, but if you are, let me know in the comments. Unbelievable.
Yo, Seth, tell me how much money you spend on Christmas gifts every year.
Usually around $1,500.
Hey, Bailey, how much money do you spend every year on Christmas gifts?
Kind of embarrassed to say. I think I spend probably like $2,500, probably $3,000.
Charles, tell me how much money you spend on Christmas gifts every year.
Way too much.
Abby, tell me how much money you spend on Christmas gifts per year. Hey, Rick, tell me how much money you spend on Christmas gifts every year.
A couple thousand.
Man, that is insane. There you have it. You know, people are spending $1,200 on the low end, at least from this video, all the way up to $3,000 on Christmas gifts. And the one guy said way too much. So we can safely assume he's spending $5,000 plus, right? Maybe, you know? So that is a lot of money. It's a lot of money, especially if you're not making a lot of money. You know, sure, if you're making $1 million a year, okay, fine, whatever. $5,000 on Christmas is nothing. You could spend 2 times, 3 times more than that realistically, right? But if you're making $60,000 a year, $80,000, it's a solid salary, right? But in the grand scheme of things, can you afford $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 every year for Christmas gifts? Probably not. You're probably overdoing it. In my opinion, you shouldn't spend more than, heck, a couple $100 a year on Christmas gifts. It depends on, you know, who you're buying the gifts for, I guess, you know, your income. But for me, I much rather, and my wife, this is actually what we do. She usually does it. I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, I bake. You know, but my wife, she bakes for our family members, so we don't have to spend a bunch of money. You know, we don't even buy each other crazy gifts anymore like we did years ago. But yeah, I mean, thousands of dollars, it's a bit too much.
I saw a article that said 25% of Americans are still paying off Christmas from last year.
Oh my gosh.
While simultaneously plan on spending more this year.
It just keeps going.
And so I find that to be very interesting. So Rachel, I'm going to hit you with a couple of facts.
Okay.
And I want you to react.
Okay.
And let's get into this. So the stats say that on average, Americans are going to spend $875 on Christmas. And that
Okay.
kind of shakes out to a little over 600 on like gifts for like immediate family, coworkers, then another around 200 on like decorations, like miscellaneous things, and then another 100 on just kind of like random,
Okay.
oh, like that guy over there needed a gift kind of thing.
Okay.
What do you think about that number?
It doesn't sound like terrible to me.
I thought it would be more.
Yes, I would have thought at least 1,200 in my head. I thought it'd be over 1,000 for the average family.
Yeah.
Like that's not just Christmas gifts. This is like the whole holiday season.
This is the holiday season.
Yeah.
And part of me goes, okay, 875. Couldn't we have like stacked up a little money throughout the year to make that happen?
I know.
So yeah, when you think about it that way, the entire holiday season, you know, $875, $1,000, $1,200, it might not be that much. But when you consider all the other debts Americans have, you know, other credit card debt, student loans, this, that, they probably can't actually afford it. But yeah, if you save money throughout the year, maybe $50 a month, whatever it is, boom, there you have it, your Christmas money, and you don't have to put it on a credit card. And am I the only one that doesn't feel like you have to buy gifts for everybody? You know, I know people that buy gifts for their cousins, their friends, their coworkers, this, that, their siblings, parents. You're buying gifts for like 30 people at that point, man, 20 people. It's like, you have to have a limit. You have to be like, okay, this is where I cut it off, right? It's just that a lot of people don't have that limit.
How much will you be spending on your partner this Christmas?
As much as I have to.
$0 because he already spent all of the money. I would say about 800.
A little short of 200, I think.
Maybe around 100.
Probably maybe 300.
Probably around 100.
$750.
Yeah, a couple $100
Yeah.
each.
I think it depends on how long you've been with them.
Yeah, for me, I'd probably spend like 150 max.
I think in a fresh relationship, like $50.
Put me on the spot here.
Sorry.
I don't know, a couple $100.
About the same. Honestly, I don't know. As long as it's like a meaningful gift, I feel like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's ranging from $50 to $150, $200. The one guy said $750. So yeah, when you're buying a gift for your significant other, it varies. And in my opinion, and we'll see another video here in a second which talks about this, but in my opinion, it comes down to how long you've been together. You know, are you married? Are you boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be? You know, that's what it comes down to. If I'm with you for, 2 months, I might not spend a couple $100 on you for Christmas. But if we're together for a decade, you're my wife, let's say, for example, it's a different story, right? So, yeah, I mean, it depends. But that's the range, $50, $100, $200 if you're buying for your significant other. Not too bad.
With the holiday season coming up, I want to know how much do you spend on Christmas? Turns out in 2021, the average spend was about $648 to gifts for family, friends, and coworkers, $231 on things like food and decor, and $118 on other purchases, bringing the average total spend to about $1,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to spend $1,000 this Christmas. And that's why I'm going to do all of these things. Ideally, I get all of my Christmas shopping done on Black Friday and Cyber Monday to take advantage of the deals. I'll use a price history extension to make sure I'm not falling for any fake sales. Use Honey to automatically apply coupons. Of course, use my credit card to get points and cash back. The big money saver is doing holiday gift exchanges instead of individual gifts. This year, we're doing that for both families and my friends. And lastly, using my arts and crafts skills to make DIY gifts to make things more personable. If you enjoyed this, fall for more money-saving tips.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to her. Invest with Nat, it looks like her page name is. Yeah, that's great advice. You know, it seems like the average in 2021 altogether was like $1,000 for the holiday season. Okay, seems pretty much in line with what we've seen throughout the course of this video, and she gave a lot of tips there on how you can actually save money when you're buying gifts, when you're shopping during the holiday season. You can make your own gifts, DIY, which I said my wife and I pretty much do that. Well, she does it with the baking, the arts and crafts, whatever, so you can do that. You can actually use points, credit cards, do the credit card system there, shop on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, get the deals. There's ways that you can do this, different strategies where you're still going to spend money, but maybe not as much money as you would have if you didn't have a plan going into it, right? Does that make sense? So yeah, shout out to Invest with Nat. Very good advice there.
How much should you spend on your significant other for the holidays? It depends how long you've been dating. Okay, see, I like the route you're going. This is the way Forbes went. This is via Forbes. Okay. What would you say for less than a year dating? $50 to $100. Pretty good, Brian. Forbes says less than a year dating, $50 is the max, which I think is it's a little low. Inflation these days? Inflation, what are you going to buy? A bag of chips and a Coke. So what about a longer relationship? Like over a year? Oh, yeah, over 2 years? I think it's decided upon each individual couple. Like some people like to go all out and get like Chanel bags and jewelry. I'm not about that. I'll get something maybe like, I would say anything above 500 is too much money. 500. Above 500 is out of the question no matter what. The most expensive gift that I've gotten a significant other, I think, is $50. Wow. Human-sized dog bed. Worth it. Forbes says longer relationships, $100 is standard. I know it's just like, I feel like that's low. I would say like $200 to $250 is average over 2 years. They said if you're married, $100 is the median amount. One pair of like Lululemon pants is $120. We set a $150 limit. And your relationship's relatively new too.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with the one guy. $50 might be a little too low these days. With inflation, I mean, it's all relative. Obviously, guys, do whatever you want to do. But maybe, if you just started dating, you just, met or whatever, $50 to $100. I like that $200 to $250 rule, especially if you've been together for a couple of years. That's kind of the sweet spot. $200 to $250, 500, it's a lot, but if you're married, it depends on your income. That might make sense. Another thing worth mentioning is, guys, what my wife and I like to do, we actually like sometimes not getting each other gifts and then maybe saving that money for an experience later down the road. Maybe we take a little trip together or put that money to a vacation fund for the summer or something like that. We've done that too, for anniversaries, Christmas, holidays, whatever it may be. So guys, yeah, people are spending a lot of money for Christmas. The reality is, holidays in general, the reality is they're putting a lot of the purchases on debt, on credit. That is the reality, guys. And you heard the one Dave Ramsey clip, the Ramsey show. People are still paying off last year's holiday season, and quite frankly, probably the last couple of years. It's unbelievable when you think about it. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments about that. Are you going to go broke this holiday season? Let me know. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.